Now, even as the Supreme Court's deadline for the 2G auctions approaches fast, the government has failed to reach a decision yet on the reserve price. An empowered group of ministers met today and finalized the auction schedule.
Well, Kapil Sibal has said that initially 11 slots of 1.25 megahertz each will be auctioned. He says the auction calendar will be announced very soon, but of course we have no clarity when it comes to the reserve price. Let's take it across then to Gauri Dwivedi, who's joining us live from the capital for more on that story. Well, Gauri, explain to us why the fuss over the reserve price. Is the government worried perhaps about the impact of TRAI's suggestions on tariffs?
Tanya, yes, the crux of the entire 2G conundrum really is around the reserve price, and the TRAI has not submitted its crucial report as far as impact of these 13-fold hike in spectrum has on tariffs, on bottom line of the telecom companies, which is why a final decision on reserve price cannot be taken without those calculations. So some of the lesser contentious issues like the quantum of spectrum that will be put up for auction is something that it has been decided on. 11 slots each. 11 slots of 1.25 megahertz will be put up for auction. It is basically eight slots plus the provision to have 3 additional slots as far as auction is concerned. And this keeps the provision of refarming as well. So, of course, refarming has been taken up as a cabinet decision, but now spectrum has also been allocated for refarming as well, and auction will take place keeping spectrum for refarming aside. That is really the big decision that has been taken as far as the ministerial panel's decision really is concerned today. And then, of course, meetings are likely to take place towards the second half of June when that big question around reserve price will come up.
All right, Gauri Dwivedi, thanks very much for taking us through some of those outcomes from that meeting. We've got Rajan Matthews, who's Director General of the Cellular Operators Association of India, who joins us on the show for more on what the government decided today. Now, Rajan, the EGoM has decided to auction a minimum of 8 slots of 1.25 megahertz. What are your reactions?
That is obviously an improvement on the original 5 megahertz that we heard was the original recommendation. Our recommendation has been that all of the available 2G spectrum be put on auction. Otherwise, it creates an artificial scarcity and artificially jacks up the price in auction. So, in that sense, we are disappointed that the EGoM has chosen not to put the full gamut of the spectrum available. That was also the brief that was, in our understanding, submitted by the Supreme Court. So we are a bit disappointed that the limited spectrum is still being put up for auction.
Mr. Matthews, no decision has been taken yet on the reserve price. Are you hopeful that the government will go ahead and reduce that?
We are hopeful based on significant data that has been submitted to the government from various independent sources, Pricewaterhouse, EY. Several analysts have submitted reports indicating the fallacies in the conclusions of the TRAI recommendations. We have indicated that the impact could be as high as 50% or more in various circles. So we are hoping that the EGoM will take that into account and therefore bring down the reserve price. And we are asking for a substantial reduction of the magnitude of some 80%. After all, remember, this is just the reserve price, and what we are representing is let the auction process set the upper limit. And so we're hoping that the EGoM will take that particular perspective in their decision.
Right. And what about the refarming of spectrum? Because our understanding is that a decision has been taken on the issue, but how much of a setback will it be if the government decides to go ahead with the refarming of spectrum?
This will be a significant setback for the industry. We have indicated that this is not refarming, it's redistribution. It's almost a confiscation of sorts because based on our understanding of our license terms and conditions, our licenses would continue after the renewal date, if you will, or the extension period. So the fact that they want to take this back and quote-unquote redistribute it is a major setback for the industry, because this means a couple of things. One, that our incumbent member entities will have to take a write-off on their balance sheets of some 35,000 crores. Secondly, we will have to rebuy spectrum in the 1800 and recreate a network for over 500 million people. It hasn't been done anywhere else in the world. This is not helpful to the nation, it's not helpful to the consumer, and certainly doesn't improve the financial health of the industry, which is right now in the complete doldrums and waiting for some relief.
Okay, so you're saying refarming is going to be a major setback for the industry. Would you then perhaps consider exercising legal options as well?
Clearly, that will be something that we will have to keep in abeyance. That is certainly not our first preference. We are hoping that rational minds and economic imperatives and the interests of the nation and NTP 2012, which articulates the fact that this industry is not to be seen as a milking cow, if you will. We are hoping that cooler heads will prevail and we will not have to resort to that. But clearly, if we believe that the particular conclusions and decisions are violative of our rights under our existing license, certainly we will want to test those in the appropriate forums.
Rajan Matthews, many thanks for coming in on the show with the industry view on some of those decisions that have come out from the EGoM meeting.